The purpose of this exercise is to bring two fighting forces together, the Korean and the US Marines. The Korean Marines are our allies, so us training with them, we know how they do things and operate, and they know how we operate. In the real world, if we ever were to actually go to war with them, that initial barrier would already be broken. We already have somewhat of an understanding of how each other operate.
So we had several rotations. We had an amphibious landing rotation where we worked with USMC and ROK Marine Corps AAVs, where we did an amphibious landing of a 2-company-sized elements. We had Mountain Warfare Training Center, where the Marines conducted rope skills and different rappelling skills. We had the Susan-Ri live fire area, where Marines fired all the weapon systems organic to a rifle company, and the Korean Marine Corps did the same. And then lastly, we had a military operations and urban terrain phase, where both companies exchanged TTPs, mount tactics, and procedures.
I think it was great. We definitely found ourselves a little bit out of our element when we were kind of patrolling against them in a woodland environment. So they definitely taught us a few things about how they do things in the woods and how we can better prepare ourselves for that type of warfare, as well as working with them in a mountain environment, something that with this ROK Marine unit they were not as familiar with. We certainly had a little bit more knowledge to give them, as well as to learn a few of the techniques that they use in the same situation. ROK Marines are great. Had an awesome time here working with them and learning from them.
It was really good working with the ROK Marines because it's different for us. We, had the language barrier was there, but we kind of like got to work around it and communicate in a different way and see how they do things versus the way that we do things.
It was a good learning experience for everybody because we had to operate in a foreign country with a foreign force. So there's been a lot of hurdles to jump over, and because of the language barrier, things were misunderstood, so everybody kind of had to adapt to it and just continue the training. If we were to just get frustrated and stop, nothing would get accomplished.
I think it was a great experience across the board. I think the individual Marine got a lot out of it. I think it's an experience that the Marine will never forget.
The best part was probably just experiencing everything that the Marine Corps had to offer in Korea. All the training, the different scenarios, different experiences. I got to ride in a track in the TC for the first time. It was pretty cool.
We get to interact with the Koreans, we get to interact with the grunts, and we build that relationship because a lot of these grunts are the ones that we're going to see when we go to combat, and so we kind of get the names and who we are and where we're from, and then so once we get to combat, that unit cohesion's already there.
I think one of the biggest takeaways from this is a lot of the patrolling, particularly in a woodland environment, especially with a lot of the newer guys who haven't seen some of the techniques that the ROK Marines use in a woodland environment. It was definitely a huge benefit to us to see how they do things, help us to keep our head on a swivel and really be prepared for anything that could possibly be thrown at us.